Hello, fam. Welcome back again. Um, Obviously, I've been gone for a while. My apologies. Life is just that way. Uh, anyway, uh, it's good to be back, and uh, so much has changed, bro. This is what is so crazy: is how quickly things change, right? Because I was streaming into, I guess, maybe the middle of December, and maybe the week we got out of school, I guess. So it would have been even later in December. And then when I was traveling is when I stopped streaming. And during that time that I was trying to stream when I was traveling, I got banned from YouTube again. And then I thought I was off. I thought it was the same number of days that I was unable to stream on YouTube. But when I tried to restart streaming again, I found out no, that in fact for your second violation on YouTube, it's longer. Anyway, so lots of stuff going on. Plus, my daughter, who is in the Army, she's a behavioral health officer for First Cav, and she's currently stationed here in San Antonio. But she's getting ready to deploy on a short-term, what do they call it? TDY, temporary duty, whatever that is. Anyway, so I'm about to be super grandpa because I'll have the four granddaughters. I have four granddaughters, 5 and under. Elliot is the oldest, 5 years old. Olivia, who just turned 4, and then I have 17-month-old twin granddaughters. So I will be, aside from my full-time job, I'll be taking them to school, to daycare, to speech, to this and that. So all that to say, I'm going to stream the next few days, and then after that, it's going to be kind of intermittent. I may try doing some, even though I won't have the camera running. Man, somebody on the shit show is always traveling. I think one of the guys is maybe a truck driver or something, or it seems to always be in between a couple of different workspaces, and it works out fine. So I may, after I drop the twins off at their daycare, I may just stream in the morning on my way to work and try that a few times. So, guys, let's talk about. Well, first of all, the really good news. Those of you that have been with me for a while, you know that and let me pull up our chart of the tokens I'm going to be talking about. If you are new to the channel or new to Pulsechain or new to crypto, we are a Pulsechain centric group. We have a few members in our group that are now currently kind of that are conspiracy minded, that are now kind of outcast from the and we'll talk about that later, from the original group that we all met in. And we have a couple of projects, and we've mostly kind of branched out on our own now. But our original project was this project called the MILF token, the My Yield and Leadership Liquidity Farm. And I've left the original MILF manifesto up. It's on the website. You're welcome to go look at it. During trying to figure out how to do what we originally wanted to do, which was a great idea, staking kind of fell out of favor. And what really has cropped up in its place is the all of the reward tokens and the tokens that utilize the blockchain but still allow you to keep ownership of your tokens in your wallet, as opposed to staking them in a contract that could be compromised. So the market seems to have moved that way, and ultimately we're going to fulfill the vision of the MILF token, but it's going to be in a totally different way. However, in the meantime, one of our other projects did do an airdrop, and if you had at midnight on January 1st of 2025, and really probably 8 a.m. I wasn't up at midnight. There's not a lot of activity in this token. But if you had on January 1st of 2025 at least one MILF token in your wallet, you have over the last several days, I guess it's been a couple of days, you received 444.666 or thereabouts of a token that is our other token, or my other token, which is kind of an anti-New World Order, anti-establishment token. Its ticker symbol is FBG666, and the full name of the token is kind of this in the schizoid or schizophrenic genre of tokens, and that is fuck Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, the WEF, the WHO, and the rest of the Pooh World Order. And Pooh World Order being a shout out to our friends over on the Shit Show. Their main token is King Pooey, and now they have Queen Pooey. I think it might not be called Queen Pooey. I think it goes by another name. But anyway, that's the token that you all should have if you held at least one MILF token. There is going to be another airdrop. Good news. So the FBG token, again, it's kind of meant to be an anti-establishment token, and it's currently would be a good time to buy if you wanted to. I haven't even put up stuff on Dex Screener or on Dex Tools. I don't have the background done yet for the Twitter account, so forth and so on. So it's very early in that token, and not many wallets hold it. It is a reward token that rewards another member. What I would like to think of is a member of our family, and it rewards the NOPE token. So if you hold FBG token in your wallet, when it is traded or transferred, anytime there's blockchain activity involving the FBG token, you will receive a distribution of the NOPE token. All right, so and the NOPE token is a community token that was founded by Randy Hilarski. It is the No Permissions community, and there's a link down below. I think it's a great community to get started in if you're in crypto. You could also sign up for an onboarding session with me if you're new to crypto, or if you're new to Pulsechain and have some more detailed questions about different communities on Pulsechain. I'm happy to do a session with you. Anyway, links down below. And this is the chart for the MILF token. Again, if you held the MILF token, you now have the FBG token. And hey guys, when you look at that, like my Rabby wallet, even though I have gone into my Rabby and set the setting on for this particular token, and it's happened to a couple of other tokens too, it still shows as a scam token. It's not a scam token. It does come with this secondary token, and they'll always have the same value. And it's just the way the contract keeps track of the wallets and who to distribute them to. That's it. So anyway, you'll actually see 2 tokens. It's legit. But like I said, my Rabby wallet won't let me get it out of that where it shows up as a scam token. But you still get your rewards. You'll see your NOP tokens come in also. So forgive me. I have been at the playground with my 4 granddaughters and am a little bit parched. All right, so that's the MILF token. You can see the chart looks a lot like other tokens. This is a very low liquidity token, so when you go in to buy it, you're a lot better off buying it on 9-inch. You can buy it through Bateas, and you're going to have to do small amounts. If you want to get the MILF token, there's going to be a second airdrop. I haven't decided when I'm going to take the snapshot. Maybe around Valentine's Day. That might be good for a couple of memes on the MILF Twitter. But so maybe around Valentine's Day, we'll do a snapshot. And the next airdrop, so let me tell you, the liquidity for FBG, the number of tokens for FBG was 6,666 tokens. Of those tokens, 1/3 went into liquidity, so 222,000, and 1/3, 222,000, are being held by the Crypto Hippies wallet, the founding wallet, as rewards later in the bull cycle. So maybe not till after summer, something like that. Sometime during or preceding what we expect would be our second altcoin season, if everything goes as planned. And then 222,000, the last third are going to airdrops currently. So I did 100, I set aside 111,000, I believe, that will go to MILF or MILF related, because we have some NFTs that are MILF and GILF related. So those will probably participate. And so the flat tokens that went out in this first airdrop total a little bit under 40,000, I believe, right? So the next 70,000 or so of that, the 111,000 I set out aside for MILF and MILF related tokens, token holders, those will be divided proportionally based on the number of MILF tokens that you hold in your wallet or are providing liquidity for. So I'm going to go through the LP contracts that the wallets that hold LP contracts and see what they have. They're providing liquidity, what percentage of the pool they're in, and they'll get distribution added to their wallet holdings as well. So there you go. That's the news on the airdrop. Congratulations. I think that the idea of tribute tokens or reward tokens is really going to shine during this bull market. There are a ton of really big projects that use this technology, and I think it's going to get even better as we figure out how to use bots to trade these in between related projects. I mean, a lot of people already have, like the PTGC guys. Congratulations to all of you. All right, guys. So So man, what was my what did I say we were going to do? Airdrop news. Oh, Jeranism, guys. So let's talk about Jeranism. I tell you what, I'm also going to change. Let's look at the FBG token before we do that. Man, so much has changed in the flat Earth community since the last time since I've been streaming. For those of you that are new to the conspiracy, or what I like to call the truther world, I mean, most of our conspiracies seem to be coming true. But so here in the truther world, if you're new to the truther world, one of the crypto groups that I belong to was founded by the founder of the Jeranism channel. Jaron is his name. And I found Jaron because when I came to Flat Earth several years ago, he was one of the main YouTubers that I had subscribed to, that I kind of watched regularly during my kind of learning phase, right? So, all right, so this is the FBG token, and it's done about like a lot of other tokens do in crypto, other than it looks like, man, that's a nice little W that we have forming there. Again, I'm not any kind of technical analyst, but I can tell you that that's a W and that's a good sign. I can also tell you that I'm probably the one that made that W. So either way, guys, anytime there's activity on this token, if you receive the airdrop, you'll be receiving NOPE token. Now, the contract that distributes the NOPE token as a reward, and hey guys, this contract does a couple of different things. Number one, it distributes NOPE token as a reward to the FBG holders. Okay. Number two is that it also burns the NOPE token. All right. So a percentage of the tribute that's paid when you buy, sell, or transfer your FBG tokens goes to purchase NOPE token off of the market and send it to the zero address. So in other words, it burns it. It makes the available supply of NOPE token smaller as well. There's one other thing. Oh, now I think 0.5% maybe. I would have to go back and check. But there's a percentage of that also goes to shore up the liquidity of the FBG token. So at some point, the tokens that are locked in the initial liquidity pool, that feeds on itself because anytime there's activity, some of the tax, some of the tribute, I hate using the word tax, some of the tribute is going to shore up the liquidity pool. Okay. All right. So that's the FBG token. So back to the story about Jaron and my thoughts on Jaron. So many of us met a lot of the people that I know in crypto. We met in the Jeranism crypto class during the scamdemic. Jaron was live streaming pretty regularly, and he was live streaming with Dave Weiss, with Alex Stein, and man, I think that guy's hilarious. I don't watch him regularly. I do watch sometimes, but he's really loud to me. And again, occasionally I really enjoy it. Especially when he's got particular guests on. But it's not my kind of shtick, I guess. Uh, I think there was a time when I was younger that I would have really enjoyed that a lot. And again, nothing negative. I think he's hilarious, and I love a lot of his shticks for sure. Man, especially when he's when he's going to protests or when he's at city council meetings, stuff like that. So, but he was on there, and man, it was pretty regular. And so we're all locked up, and then that kind of, and we're all, it was nice to have a group of people, even if it was online, that you could, talk with, chat with, that shared your ideas. Because certainly in my workplace, I basically lost my job because I wasn't going to wear a stinking mask. Uh, so, bro, how much has changed in the last 4 years? But man, I still get like PTSD flashbacks when I see somebody in in a store or uh, whatever. It just, man, I tell you what, it's crazy time. So anyway, it was good to have the camaraderie of other like-minded people, even if it was online. And I'm sure my experience is not unique. I'm sure many of us did the same thing. And I think that's what's really unique about, I'll be honest, I just had kind of this flash thought. I wonder if we would be having a meme coin super cycle this cycle if meme coins, if not for the communities that formed during the online communities that formed during the scamdemic. So just a thought. Anyway, I certainly think that it's possible that I know from my perspective, it certainly played out that way, because those of us that were hanging out with Jaron and Dave, and then we wound up talking a lot about crypto, right? And a lot of us kind of got onboarded through Jaron's crypto class. And again, some of us that were in that class have that MILF project. Some of us have gone on. Some of the other tokens we'll talk about in a minute were founded by other members of that group. The FBG token, my founding that token came out of that group. So, sorry guys, I know it's rude to drink on stream, but anyway. So, but that group was primarily a flat earth truther community. Like Jaron did a lot of I think the first one was called the Mount Meru Summit. After that, they were called the True Earth Summits or something like that. And he would have all kinds of speakers that came in and spoke on natural health care, like Peggy from what's her last? I can't think of her last name. From the Healthy American, she would speak at the summit, the online summits. Austin Whitsitt, a lot of people, people from the Globebusters community. So he wasn't just about crypto. He wasn't just about flat Earth. I considered him a kind of an all-purpose truther, and I think most of us in the flat Earth community are that. Right? I don't think you'll find very many people in the flat Earth community that took the jab, if any. I would like to see them, So, people in the flat Earth community tend to be the kind of people that go to chiropractors or natural health practitioners or Ayurvedic practitioners rather than allopathic practitioners. So, that I really enjoyed that community. And Jaron was a big part of the Globebusters community. So, and I always, thought Jaron was a solid member of the Truther community. Now, fast forward, those of you that may not be aware, there was an experiment that was posited to a lot of people in the flat Earth communities called the final experiment. I disagreed with the premise. Of calling it the final experiment. I thought we were going to get scammed from the beginning, and that's exactly what happened. And number one, what happens in the sky, our understanding of the sky clock, our understanding of the luminaries and how the sky works, while I certainly believe the luminaries have an influence on the field, I'll tell you this, one of the reasons I don't cut my hair anymore is because I began to understand after I found flat Earth, found ether science, found Walter Russell, realized that if we live in this pressurized system, right, and if in fact, as I believe that they are, our hair is an extension of our nervous system, right, then the extension of that hair as it grows out into the ether is more and more compressed and should therefore be able to receive more and more information from the ether, right? And I believe, again, whether we're all one organism, whether we're in the mind of God or what we perceive as the great creator, the ultimate creator, I'm not sure, but I know we live in a pressurized environment. I know most of what goes on here is electrical, electrostatic, and I know that, the way Walter Russell describes the return that the neon gases, those kind of fundamental elements at the bottom and the top of the elemental spectrum, if you look at it from Walter Russell's, what do they call it, elemental table or a concept, as opposed to the traditional physics table of elements. I can't even remember what the name of that is, but right. So if you think about this pressurized environment, and if you think about all information being transferred into the ether, into these basic elements, right? That information is what's available. Some people call it the Akashic records, the field, whatever source, energy, whatever you call it. I believe we have access to it. I believe there's a transfer of information. And certainly if we're in this pressurized environment, then our hair is an extension of the part of our body that receives that information from the outside, right? So anyway, I have found it to be true, especially monitoring what I call my beard tuition as I kind of went through this process, that there is certainly this energetic information that this energy that cycles through, and I'll tell you, man, the biggest evidence of this is during the winter. Man, that's the other reason I have to fess up that even though, I think I got off a YouTube suspension last week, maybe 6-7 days ago. Now that I think about it, coming back to it was really difficult, because when the sun goes away, when we moving into the winter solstice, and then for a little while moving out of it, bro, my energy level, my creative spirit, my everything about my life really gets muddied, and a lot of it has to do with what's going on in the luminaries. So I am not saying that what goes on above us has no effect on us. It certainly does. However, it is not a determining factor in what is beneath us, in what we're standing on, right? If in fact we live in some field's inertial plane, okay, then what is above us could be completely different and would in no way resemble what is below us, right? We would live on the inertial plane. The inertial plane, in my belief system, I guess, if you want to call it, and what I think about science, is where physicality happens. It's where light is turned into matter, right? It's where everything gets compressed into the feel it, touch it, see it, mold it physical reality that we all share. Okay. So, and I believe that the inertial plane is just that. It is the foundational plane on which the physical, the pillars of the creator are planted. So anyway, so I thought it was a scam to call it the final experiment. All they were going down there to do was to make an observation on the primary luminary, the sun in the sky. And as soon as this offer was made, I could have told you, I knew right away, guys, there is going to be a 24-hour sun down there. 100%, there's going to be a 24-hour sun down there. Otherwise, this offer would not be being made. Now, whether that sun was the same sun that we were watching in the northern hemisphere, who knows? I think our observations of the sun are optical, right? We're not necessarily seeing a physical object anyway. All right, so again, consider this. If you and I are standing on the shoreline of a basically still, waveless body of water, a huge lake, let's say, and we are standing next to each other, okay? And the sun is either rising on the horizon or descending, moving further away from us, and what we would call setting on the horizon, okay? I would see a reflection of the sun in a line of sight that was in line with where my physical location, okay? You would as well. And if we moved away from each other on the shoreline, we would each be experiencing our own optical sun, or we would be experiencing the sun optically from our own vantage point. All right, 100%. So when I'm talking about the sun being optical, that's what I'm talking about. So we do not have any way to guarantee, to verify that the sun that they were going to witness, and the fact that they did witness, circle them in a 24-hour period, was the same optical experience or the same optical sun, the same apparent sun that we were witnessing in the northern hemisphere. There's no way to verify that, okay? And there's several videos going around online that that describe how this can happen if in fact we are in a closed environment with a dome. All right, I think there are several ways that it could happen. At the very least, The experiment, as far as I'm concerned, just means, hey guys, we need more observations. Now, the next time we do it, we need to send some flat earthers there. Number one, at different times of the year. Number two, where we can all track, so maybe 2 or 3 different coordinates from different vantage points in the further north, either on the equator or north of the equator, where we can agree, where we can verify that the actual or the apparent sun that we are seeing, what we would call, what a lot of inexperienced truthers or conspiracy theorists would call the physical sun, right? Well, there's a lot of evidence that the sun is not itself physical anyway, but that's a different show, all right? But there must be some way to verify via coordinates agreed upon, just like we can track the stars, right, based on how far above the horizon they are and so forth. So there's got to be some way to verify with multiple observers at different coordinates that that the sun that is circling in Antarctica is in fact the apparent sun that we are all witnessing. Okay, so now there's a couple of other videos. In fact, I'm kind of glad that I was able to sit back and watch all of this unfold, and that I wasn't streaming during this time, because man, what's been going on is hilarious. Number one, guys, so let's get this out of the way. I was always willing to give Jaron the benefit of the doubt, right? That I know beforehand, that he was saying that there, it was a problem for flat Earth if they go down there and there was a 24-hour sun. Well, number one, I disagree. It created a problem for the kind of the AE map model, or the AE model of one circling sun. But that's just a model. I mean, the globers don't have a model that works either, right? That's why there's a 3-body problem. They can't put into any computer what they say is happening to us when you add a third body, so you can have the Earth and the sun, but you can't add Mars, or you can't add another planet, or you can't add the moon. As soon as you add a third body to any of their computer models, everything goes haywire, right? So that's my understanding what the third body problem is. So they don't have a working model, right? So anyway, the idea that it somehow destroys, all of the things that falsify the globe that we can duplicate is ridiculous. So anyway, I was willing to give, Jaron the benefit of the doubt. I was disappointed with, the fact, and again, Jaron may be right. Maybe there was never a promise of a 24-hour live stream, but when there was no 24-hour live stream, that kind of did it for me. That to me said, man, there's room for us to question it a lot more. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I don't care if Jesus himself went down there and took that video and said and claimed to be. I'm going to question it 100% anyway. If I didn't experience it, I'm going to question it. I'm a skeptic. That's what science is all about. And shame on Jaron and other people in the flat Earth community for criticizing and vilifying people in the flat Earth community for being skeptical. I mean, that's ridiculous. Of course we're skeptical, and that's what science is all about, right? That's why nothing is ever proven. You only generate an experiment only generates evidence that supports an hypothesis or falsifies it, whatever. There's no proof, right? Nothing is ever proven. If that were the case, then there would actually be such a thing as settled science, and all of settled science is not. Come to find, like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I almost did it. Think about all of the things that have come out in the last 5 years that were based on settled science that are now not doing what was said that what was promised. So anyway, sorry, that was almost my third strike. All right, so that's my first thought on it, is shame on all of you for vilifying flat earthers for being skeptical. All right. And, to come off, well, anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll also say, although I do appreciate, Dave kind of jumping in right away and doing his defense videos. I kind of appreciate, because I want good information. And I think if we're barking up the wrong tree, like the shadows and all that, I agree. I thought that was a sham from the beginning. I thought, guys, bro, you can't have the camera moving and your subject moving and think that there's not going to be some discrepancy in your shadow. I said, there's got to be something that's that's a constant, right? So I kind of thought that was a farce anyway. So I appreciated that, but I did think it odd that he didn't let everybody kind of defend themselves. So I think a lot of people saying, I know the fittest flat earther thinks they're all shills, whatever. Again, I'm giving these guys the benefit of the doubt, largely because I feel and not like they were personal friends, but I spent many hours on stream, on streams with these guys during the scamdemic. So I was willing to give Jaron the benefit of the doubt. However, I will say this, and I'm not going to criticize him as a person. I'll just say this. I'm very what's the good word? I'm very, I don't want to say careful. I'm very stingy, I guess, with where I spend my time and who I spend my time with, whether it's in person or whether it's online, right? And I enjoy people that are like-minded. That doesn't mean I like to be in an echo chamber, right? But people like people that look like themselves, right? I mean, that's just, and I don't mean in a racist, standpoint, from point of view, perspective, but people that think like me. All right. Now I'm always on the lookout for the truth. I'm willing to, if something happens and I'm proven wrong about one point or another, I'm willing to take a step back. I'm not willing to throw just like allopathic medicine. Hey guys, if I need trauma care, take me to the hospital, right? Some of the stuff there could be helpful. All right. Now, after I'm patched up and whatever, then I'm getting off the painkillers as quick as possible, so forth and so on, right? So I'm not going there to buy in. So, but at the same time, I'm not going to say there's no utility for what goes on in allopathic medicine. Okay. And what to me is really suspect about what happened after everybody came back and Jaron flip-flopping is, it, in that analogy would be like me going into the hospital because, I needed some trauma care and coming out updated on my, what's, right? and and talking about going and having my well doctor visit. As you get older, you're supposed to go have colonoscopies and this and that, right? All more stuff to screw your body up. So if that happened to me, you would think there's something wrong. You would be like, bro, what the hell are you talking about? You went in for some stitches or you broke your leg. You didn't have to do all. I mean, and you would certainly suspect, wow, that happened really quick. And that guy used to be anti-allopathic medicine, but now he's he's all about being on blood pressure medicine and this and that and blah blah blah. So that to me is the equivalent of Jaron coming back and not just saying, hey guys, man, my mind's really blown and we've got to figure out what this means. We've got to change our model. We've got to do some more research. We need to, figure out what's going on in the skies, right? That's one thing. Or for him to come back and say, hey guys, I'm going to take a step back and kind of really start digging in and doing some research and trying to figure out what are some ways we can explain this, and I'm not going to go on Globebusters anymore, not till I can feel good about what I'm preaching about. Hey, but guys, to come back and say that what you saw in the sky falsifies all of the information that points to the fact that we live on a level topographical surface, right? It's mind blowing. So that it makes me very suspicious. I'm not going to beat the guy up anymore. I'm not going to resubscribe to my VIP membership. I'm not going to tell anybody else what to do. But I'm done with that. To me, that's not seeking the truth. To go back to a foundational presumption that has long since been proven to any open-minded skeptic, right? For which there are countless volumes of evidence of public material available of traditional scientists that question it. To go back to that foundational premise as the basis for your truth research is that's not where I'm going to spend my time, right? That's not where I'm going to spend my time. And so again, I'm not going to talk bad about it. Now, here's another one. And I was going to go through Jaron's one of his streams, but I'll tell you where I decided when I heard him talking about this is what did it for me, right? I'm listening to him. I'm willing to give him, again, the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if anything that happens on this channel now resembles what I thought was going on, which was the search for truth in a kind of fun, flippant, comical, I don't care what you think, this is my show kind of way, right? Okay. But all of this, he starts talking about, if there's a Lowe's in one geographic location and it's level, and then somewhere else on the globe there's another Lowe's, they're level in a local sense, right? But they're not leveled to themselves. Guys, I'm telling you, so think about it this way. Think about it this way. If we do a laser test and we go to the Lowe's down the street and I set up a laser, and again, guys, this is a mental exercise, right? But let's say there's a mountain over here in San Antonio, which that would be odd. Anyway, there's a mountain over here in San Antonio, and on the top of that mountain, there's a Lowe's, and I'm going to go to the top of Lowe's. I'm going to put a laser, I'm going to level it, and I'm going to shoot it as far as the laser will go. All right. And let's say I go 100 miles. All right, 100 miles, and there's another Lowe's at the top of another mountain. And I'm going to go to the top of that Lowe's, and I'm going to put a laser on it, and I'm going to level it, and I'm going to shoot it back across the valley between these two mountains. Okay? All right. If the Earth is curved, those lasers would have to, they would intersect at whatever degree. I'm not going to do the math. If you want to do the math, you can. But if there was a Lowe's on the top of this mountain that was locally leveled, and we shot a laser, and 100 miles away on a globe, on a ball, right, there's another laser, those lasers would have to intersect at some angle. Okay? I'll guarantee you that's not going to happen. All right, what's going to happen is we're going to observe those two lasers, and they are going to be parallel to each other, right? On some plane, right? On some plane, they will be parallel to each other. Okay, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay, so Jared is sitting here talking about the idea that level isn't level. And guys, that did it for me. I'm like, there's no way, there is no way I'm hanging out here. So, and again, then to follow that with a comment such as, and, you know, then he said, and, you know, and if you can't understand that you can be level on this at this place, and then, you know, level at this, and then he threw in, you know, if this place over here floods and this place over here floods, you know, yes, the water is going to rise and it's going to be level, but it's not going to be level. You know, it's not going to be the same level. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. There's no bendy water anywhere, right? Sea level is sea level. This is what we observe. And to put our faith back in all of the, you know, if what we see from NASA and governments and so forth, if it isn't fake, if what they're saying is true, there would be no reason to fake any of it. And they fake it all the time. We catch them faking it all the time. I mean, show me an astronaut that's being trained in a depressurized environment. Show me that, right? Let's put an astronaut in a pressure chamber and depressurize it, and show us how he survives. All right, then I might believe there's an outer space the way they talk about. But bro, until then, no way. All right. So yeah, guys, and you know, out of respect, I don't see any reason to beat anybody up. I'm not gonna, because I've also said this, guys. I've also said this. My number one, I'm a truth seeker, 100%. You know, and I'm going to say this, And maybe it's not the case. I'd like to think it's not the case. But I have a sneaky suspicion because, um, especially someone like me, I've talked to people about the truth a lot, right? I've talked to people, and most people just don't come along. All right, so if I'm in, forget it, in Jaron's position, in Austin's position, in any of these guys, and somebody comes to me and says, "Look, man, we get to Punta Arenas, and some three-letter agency guy, or some guy wearing a Masonic hat and apron comes up, whatever, whoever these people are, says, look, man, we know that you want to take care of your family, that you'd like to be somewhere where you can exercise your freedoms and so forth and so on, where the food isn't toxic, where they're not trying to poison your water, where the government's not trying to screw you at every turn, you know, and or better that, man. What if somebody came to me and said, "Listen, man, we know you want the truth. We know you really want to know what's going on here. We know you want for you and your family to be out of the rat race, to be done with the fiat money system, to have all your wants and needs taken care of, and to know what's really going on in this realm." And if they say, "We can provide all that, your family will be safe, you'll move up to the next level of knowing, we'll share with you everything that we can about where you live, what's going on, how the sky works, all of that, when the reset happened, where the extra land is, if there's extra land, all that stuff, guys." And if they said, "All you got to do is go down to where we're going, come back, and follow the script. If you don't want to do it, no harm, no foul." Guys, I'm not sure I'd pass it up. To get my family, out of the uh, tyrannical, what's the word I'm looking for? Man, what were guys like when in medieval times? What did they call it? Like when you lived on the land, but you didn't own the land, but you had an allegiance, and for your allegiance, for working the land, uh, the uh, the elite or they protected you and so forth. What is that called? Anyway, guys, if you get me out of this system, my family is safe, and I get to know the truth about what the hell is going on in this place. Guys, I'm sorry. I'll be a glober in a heartbeat. Now again, I'm not saying that's what Jaron did. I'm just saying I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to blame him. I don't have any evidence of it, and like I said from the beginning, I give him the benefit of the doubt. But again, to criticize people in the flat earth community for entertaining that idea, okay, I think is a little bit, as it's as over the top as, again, if you didn't do it, great. I believe you. So if you're white as snow, that must seem crazy to you. Great. It seems crazy to me that you would do something like this and not expect that people in the truther community are gonna hold the magnifying glass up to the whole thing. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I think there are a number of different ways that the 24-hour sun can be explained. I in no way think it means that, that it falsifies the fact that we do not live on a spinning globe going a gazillion miles an hour through space. It's just not feasible. So what it does mean is there's an explanation for what was witnessed. Hey guys, I'll tell you another thing. You want to know what conspiracy where I'm at? How do we know these guys weren't MKO? How do we know they didn't go to some briefing? They had to go to some briefings about security, about how the place was going to be. Bro, I've been around and studying and looking at and taking part in hypnosis and alternate theories, alternate healing modalities that use hypnosis and so forth. Guys, I'm telling you, there are people that could walk in that room and not say a word about anything flat earth, about the sun. Put these guys under hypnosis and get them to do what they're doing. It happens all the time. Look up conversational hypnosis. It's just that they wouldn't have to even mention. They wouldn't have to. It could all be done in a conversational or a style, and 100%. They could have. I've seen theories. I've seen people say that it was all done in an indoor 360 studio, or that it was done in an outdoor studio, that the sun. Oh, here's another thing that kind of upsets me about, Jaron and guys, I've been watching YouTube videos about some sun simulators for a decade. And for Jaron to say, this is another thing that to me is very suspicious. For him to say that it's ridiculous for people to think that they could simulate a sun. How is that ridiculous? Look at all the deception that goes on, right? And again, if Jaron was a brand new to the flat Earth community and had never talked about or investigated all of the helium that NASA uses, satelloons, the way NASA uses the mock-up planes to simulate the space station, in orbit. But bro, Jaron has been party to all this information and has made videos about it, has talked about it, right? And so for him to sit there and say that some of this deception is not even possible, I mean, bro, come on. So guys, that's the last I'm going to talk about it. All that to me is as suspect as hell. And I'm not accusing Jaron of anything. I'm saying it's enough for me to be. I don't want to be any part of the drama. I'll be happy to watch it. I don't need any explanations, right? If you switch to wanting to go get all of your updated, bro, I don't need an explanation. My blessings go with you. I'm not going to talk to you about it. I'm not going to talk you out of it, whatever, bro. So, hey, Mr. Rock Jockey, or M Rock Jockey. Maybe that's how you say it, man. What's up? Appreciate you being here, guys. So, guys, that's what I have to say about Jaronism and about the The flip-flop. Bro, it is hilarious. Now, I'll say this too. I don't see any reason to be ugly to people. Like, you know, again, Fittest Flat Earther, he has his opinion. Um, who else was I watching the other day? Oh, Sovereign Soul. I mean, guys, again, there's no reason to beat people up. It's whatever. But I'm not going to support a truth seeker whose foundation is basically just that I can tell from the outside that you're just doing research for confirmation bias on a presumption that is fundamentally flawed in any number of ways, and easily proven so, or easily, with a multitude of evidence for the opposite of what they say goes on with a spinning ball globe. All right, guys, so that's that. But in the meantime, let's talk about the DOME token. That's another token we like to cover here. And we're just going to look at a couple of more charts. Hey, guys, I think that the bull run that's about to happen is going to be exciting. It's hilarious. Looking back at how at my evolution into crypto and where we're at, and I think there are times when I've kind of thought, man, I missed this or I missed that. But I tell you, I think there are certain things in my journey that saved me, and I think it all has set me up to be at this place. I think that we're all really fortunate if you have survived what I mean, especially guys, the last year, and again, there were some bright spots on Pulsechain, but man, if you survived the last year, which I consider our bonus, the bonus bear year on Pulsechain, man, you deserve the big payoff, and I think we're going to get it. This is what I think, guys, and I have not publicly said this, and I have been conjuring this this narrative for about 18, maybe 24 months. And I think that there's a corollary between what we saw in the roaring 20s and what we're going to see now. I think the roaring 20s, the stock market was to the roaring 20s, the roaring 1920s, as Bitcoin is to the 2020s, or Bitcoin / crypto / alt markets. Okay. I think it's possible that they're going to let a lot of people get filthy freaking rich, because I think ultimately the only way they can quelch the freedoms that I believe the blockchain offers to the masses is by letting a lot of people get rich and then pulling the biggest crash, getting enough control of what's going on that they then formulate what they did in 1929. All right. And then there'll be so many people that are going to get caught in that, right? That they'll then people that you're probably friends with here in Pulsechain will be begging for some kind of regulation, or they're going to move, they're going to use it to their advantage. But I think in the meantime, we're going to get what they got in the Roaring '20s. All right. Now, I don't necessarily mean that means we're going to get some kind of crazy suit. I still think the cycles will hold, but because you've got retail. I think a lot of retail they're going to let this be a cycle where so much retail comes in. A lot of that retail is going to stay through. Just like again, if you came in with me at the top of the last cycle, you wound up staying through. I did. I mean, I DCA'd all the way down. I've been DCAing the whole time, right? So now there'll be next cycle. There will be 2 generations, or 3, depending on how many people have stuck around. But I think then that next, either this will be a kind of a muted bear market, and then we'll get like a huge run up, and then they'll do whatever they're going to do, right? But that's what I'm thinking. I think that we'll see how it goes. I don't think it matters for the next 12 months or so. We're going to get a great bull run, right? Now, whether the bear that comes after that is muted, or whether there's a continuation. I mean, I'll never not have money in crypto, right? I'll never not have money. And I mean, I'm always going to have a moon bag of the projects that I believe in. And if you're new to Pulsechain, guys, there are a lot of great projects to believe in. One of them is the Dome Shot token. This is the official. Now, I know Jaron's group, crypto group, had somebody that has a Flat Earth token on Solana. I don't know anything about it. I'm calling this the official Flat Earth token. All right, and as you can see by my calculations, using the fib chart or a fib pool, we're definitely in the reload zone. This token was founded by Dave Weiss and another Flat Earth community member. It was airdropped to people that own Dave Weiss's app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. There's a link down below. Please use my referral code word BEARD, because it helps me earn some Dome token. All right, so that's the Dome token. The next token we're going to look at is the Realm token. The Realm token is the token that rewards Dome token. So if you hold Realm in your wallet, then you receive, anytime Realm is transacted on the blockchain, you receive airdrops, well, not airdrops, that's the wrong word, rewards in the form of Dome Shot. All right, this is the Realm token, and this is a low market cap token. What's great about this token is, number one, you can throw some lottery money at this. It's not going to cost you very much. You need to have your slippage set at about 5%, I believe, should do it. And that is because it's a tribute token. When you transact, when you buy or sell the Realm token on the blockchain, you pay a tribute. I think it's, like I said, it's under 5%. And that goes to distribute rewards in the form of Dome token to all the holders of the Realm token. All right. The great thing about this is if you provide liquidity on Pulsex V2 in the Realm PLS pool, you get double the dome rewards. All right. If all of that seems a little bit much for you, sign up for a consultation down below. I'm happy to help you, to walk you through the process of either purchasing some of these tokens or providing liquidity in a way that benefits you even more. So that's the Realm token. Hey guys, I think that we are at the end of our stream. We've talked a lot about Pulsechain. We've talked a lot about some of the recent goings on in the conspiracy world. Man, there's a lot of other stuff I'd like to talk about, but I've been going about an hour. I like to keep streams about an hour. I'll be back on most likely tomorrow. Well, for sure, I'll be on tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about, wow, crazy stuff going on in politics. Yes. I mean, the Donald, and hey guys, I'm a truth seeker. I haven't voted in maybe 20 years. I mean, once I figured out the political, hey guys, you're watching a made for TV movie script. Well, that's what you're watching. Now, I used to be really emotionally involved in politics, and so it's kind of fun for me. And every now and again, I'll kind of get drawn in. But bro, this is the biggest. If you know politics, you know this is the biggest setup. I wonder what's going to come next. What is the Donald going to do that is going to funnel all his sheep that think he's the savior into the proper pen, the proper cattle pen or sheep pen or whatever, wherever he wants you to go. I wonder what's going on, guys, because I can tell you all the stuff you're watching, this is all a distract. I don't know what they're distracting you from, right? There's probably 1,000 things. There's probably 1,000 things going on behind the scenes that they're distracting you from, right? While you're all talking about, it's not any different than where's Michelle Obama? Is is Barack is Barack having an affair? I mean, guys, it is so funny to watch people get sucked into this. Man, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but like Benny Johnson, is that the guy's name? I'm watching his stream the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, this guy, he might have a heart on for Donald Trump. I don't know. It's crazy to watch. It's hero worship. It's not any different than worshiping Taylor Swift or Michael Jordan. Your pick a freaking star, bro. You know, when you worship these political figures, again, you're just worshiping actors. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. But it's a good show, man. It's a good movie. I mean, hey, for sure during the bull market, I'm not going out for popcorn. I'm watching the whole thing. It's just going to be a blast to watch, and we're going to get fat freaking wallets, every one of us, guys. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy green candles.